pay that woman her money. And I'm so proud of Taraji P. Henson for speaking out about pay inequality among African Americans and their counterparts in Hollywood. But we all know that this problem does not just exist in Hollywood. This is not an entertainment industry issue. I think we can examine healthcare, we can examine real estate, education, so many different industries, financial services, where we see Black and brown people who are just as qualified, just as talented, in many cases more qualified and even more talented, who are being paid a fraction of the cost, which is so interesting because I don't think it's half off on college tuition. I don't think it's half off on the level of preparation needed. Viola Davis, I believe, went to School of Juilliard, which is supposed to be one of the most prestigious schools for actors. Why is Viola Davis, as accomplished as she is, with all of the quote unquote societal requirements to be seen as a respected actress, why would she ever be negotiating her value, let alone Taraji P. Henson and so So here's what you need to do. As you embark on a new year, many of you are doing business planning, you want to grow the revenue, the bottom line for your company. You need to sit down and actually review, take a second and analyze the job descriptions, the pay scale that you currently have your staff on, and actually see where you can challenge them. If what you're paying them right now, something tells me that's a comfortable dollar amount, right? Like that's comfortable for you. But what if you invested 20% more into your operations team? What would be that return on that investment? If you actually sat down and took the time to look at the numbers, that's what Ellis and I did, guys, in 2018, is scaled our business incrementally overnight. Because all of that extra money we were getting, we invested back into our people. Hey, what would an extra $10,000, and I would actually do this. I would schedule a meeting with all of my C-suite team, with all of my directors, and say, what would an extra $10,000 bonus at the end of each quarter do for you? What would it do? If there was another $10,000 on the line, instead of meeting this metric, maybe we could grow the department by 50%. What do you think? I think something that a lot of business owners, and I hope you guys are not taking this for granted. If you are, stop doing this. But we underestimate the value of why our agents, why our employees, why our staff members are working for us. Many of them are purpose driven. Many of them, maybe they want to buy a new car by the end of 2024. Maybe they want to renovate their basement. Maybe they want to put their kids in a private school. Go find out why your staff is working for you and go help their dreams come true. I think whoever serves the most will always earn the most. And so that's been everything for us in business. And I hope you do the same. Watch what happens to your revenue by the end of this year.
Now for you, let's say you're not a business owner. You don't have a C-suite. You ain't got 10 employees. You don't have none of that. And you say, well, Ellis, Jasmine, how can I get better? How can I implement this now? Remember, one of the greatest stories to me was DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled said, my first contract I signed when I got into the industry was terrible. It was horrible. And he said, you know what? If I could do it all over again, I would. Because he said, my dream and goal was not to get one contract and then that was it. My dreams and goals was much bigger than that contract. And so I learned from my first experience. See, most people want to just get rich quick overnight. That's not how it works. You have to apply yourself. You have to work hard at what you do and become great at it so that your character, your integrity, and your work ethic follows you wherever that you go. DJ Khaled, to me, has one of the most incredible work ethics, integrity, and character of anyone that I've seen just through the social media lens, right, of anybody in the industry. And that's what he portrays. Family man, loves his children, right, but works hard every single day just to improve, to get better every single day. And he applies that. And because he applies that, he learned, He went through bad situations, but each experience was a learning experience to get better so that one day you can be the CEO. One day you can be the boss. So if you flipping burgers right now, or you dropping fries right now, go into that and be the best damn fry dropper.
Yeah.
Be the best burger flipper, right? And work your way up into management. You know, have a dream and goal. It's like, all right, cool, man. I always said as a kid I was going to be a millionaire before the age of 40. I'm 38 years old and I'm right there. Right?
I want to just kind of stay right there for a second, because I think one of the biggest problems, and you and I have experienced this, is more often than not, a lot of people, and I'm talking directly to you, I hope that this isn't you, but they want to be, everyone wants to be the boss, the leader. Nobody wants to be the servant. And I always analyze Jesus Christ's walk, and there's a lot of other people, but we'll use Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ came to serve. Nowhere in the Bible did it say that he was hanging out, chilling, like he was about his Father's business. Mm-hmm. And I think for all of you watching this, I want to make sure, like, what are your motivations for wanting to start a business? A lot of people think that leadership is delegating. That's not leadership.
That's management.
That's management. Managers delegate. And managers are not visionaries. They do not have the vision necessary to propel a company forward, to achieve exponential growth, sustainable long-term growth. Those are managers. Managers are the people who simply manage. Did you clock in, clock out? I asked you to move those 5 boxes from here to here. Did you move all 5? But leadership requires service. Leadership requires you to sometimes get in and flip those burgers.
That's
fix
right.
that ice cream machine. That's real leadership.
That's right.
So I think in the beginning, when Ellis and I first started, in order for us to eventually become a coach, we first had to be coached. I'm always leery of people who call themselves coaches, but nobody has ever coached them. Mm-hmm. Who are you following? Who are you following in 2024? What example are you duplicating? And so that's important for me, to not just have a coach that's one-dimensional, but if I'm following you, I'm locked in with you. I'm analyzing your marital life. I want to know, how do you talk to your wife? How do you treat your kids? Do you pay your taxes? How do you treat your staff? Right? Those are things that I want for you guys to start thinking about when it comes to identifying who should coach you this year when it comes to achieving your goals. So yeah, leadership to me is all about service. Jay-Z has the album that he did with Beyonce. He said, everybody's bosses until it's time to pay for the office, when the invoices separate the men from the boys. It's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Because everybody's a leader, right? Everybody's a leader, but then when it's time to pay office rent, everybody has an excuse.
Yeah.
That's not, it's levels to leadership. This office rent, it comes regularly. Yeah. Let me explain to you guys. When you walk into an office, somebody paid for that carpet on the floor, somebody paid for that ceiling tile, the lighting, someone paid for that space. And so for me, I'm so grateful for the coaches and the mentors that my husband and I have had. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for investing in us. And it's our responsibility to pay it forward. That's leadership.
And if you're wondering where you can, find a coach, because I remember one of my old managers told me, say, Ellis, you need a mentor. You need a coach, essentially, is what he was saying. I say, well, where do I find one? Where does one find a mentor? Is it in the yellow pages? Is it in the newspaper? Where do you find them? And he said, I don't know, but you need to find one. But I never forgot that message. And it was maybe 6 years from the time he told me that before I found that coach and mentor. But if you're looking for a coach and mentor, we're here too as well. Reach out to us. You know how to get in touch with us. We're definitely here. We could point you in the right direction, or it may even be us as well, to be able to help coach and mentor you in business and life and different things that you're going through. And so I just wanted to add that. But leadership is so very thankless. It's like being a parent, right? Everybody praises a kid if they do great. Maybe they make it to the NFL, NBA. Oh, that kid did incredible. But let that kid get into some trouble. The first person they blaming, the parents, right? And so leadership is the same way. It's a thankless position, but it's very rewarding when those around you begin to grow, win, and excel. And I remember one time a person walking up to me. It was a Saturday afternoon. I was in the office, and the trash was filled. And I picked the trash up, tied it up. Everybody was leaving out. And they said, "Hey, coach, why are you taking the trash out?" I said, "Because nobody else took it out." I said, "Because at the end of the day, my blood, sweat, and tears is in this office. I put all my money, long hours, long nights into this to make sure that it grow. And I'm not just going to say, hey, you go take the trash out. No, because you don't value it like I value it, right? That's leadership."
I would even dare to say at every stage of my professional journey, I wasn't being paid what I was worth, and I knew it. The only time, let me say this, that I wasn't was when I worked for the government, because they go off of a grade system. And I think maybe if all companies went off of a grade system, you have this many years in the company, this many years in the industry, then everyone should have a set salary. But yeah, I remember working for a company I'll never forget. I won't say the name of the company. And I had come into the company. This is a horrible experience. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I worked for this company, and I literally built them a new system, new standard SOPs, new CRM. Literally, I built the department from the ground up. And I remember at the end of that year, what do most people expect after you've completely revitalized the department, you have brought exponential revenue into the company? You expect what? A pay raise, a promotion.
A bonus, something.
And instead of a bonus, I remember the CEO calling me into her office. By the way, this CEO was a black woman. She was a black woman. Let me be very clear about this. She called me into her office, and I just knew that she was going to congratulate me on the achievements, the success and growth of the team. Instead, she wanted to let me know that they were phasing out my role as I once knew it, and they wanted to add additional responsibilities. And if I were interested, I could reapply for my job.
The craziest thing I had ever heard when you told me that.
It makes absolutely no fucking sense. And the reason why it makes me so angry is because coming from, as a black woman, who I remember sitting on the board, her interview board, to actually interview her. I remember her sitting across from me and me asking her questions about why she was the best person for the role. She was the only black woman, black woman who was interviewing for this particular role. And as soon as those tables turned, she sat across from me as the CEO and told me that they were phasing out my role and that if I were interested, I could apply. Needless to say, I never applied for the job. Needless to say, she called me back into the office and asked me why I wasn't going to apply, and that the board of directors had personally recommended that I apply because they wanted to give the new position back to me. Well, what they didn't mention was the new position included probably about 40% of additional work for the same pay, just a different title. And so I didn't accept the offer. And that's what's so important about Taraji's experience and what she's sharing, because she talks about turning down roles because enough is enough. Mm-hmm. And how Taraji P. Henson almost turned down The Color Purple because even her people wasn't about to pay her worth. Talk about how frustrating that is.
It is.
Why does it take for Oprah to go to bat for her? Why can't you just off jump, look at her resume, see she's qualified, and pay her worth? So I'm proud of her for standing up, and I firmly agree that she paved the way for the rest of those actors and actresses on set. But
she killed her role too.
She crushed it.
She did.
Yeah. So that happened to me when I was in corporate America. I ended up not reapplying for my job, and ended up applying for a few other positions, and I got offers from all of those companies. What's so funny is they paid me $30,000 more than that previous employer. So yes, I have experienced pay inequality, and it always works out when you stick true to what you know you're worth, the value that you bring. If you can clearly articulate the value that you bring, you'll get paid what you're worth. Just stick it out.
So I think for us now as business owners, we don't look for employees. And I think that's the biggest difference between us and what other companies are doing. They're looking for employees. They're trying to pay you the bottom of the barrel just so that they can get through. You do just enough so you don't get fired. And they give you just enough so that you don't quit, right? That's the relationship that corporate America has with you, and that's what you have with them. So we're looking for entrepreneurs. So what that means is that we're looking for someone who cares just as much about the company and is incentivized for that company to grow. And as our company grows, our revenue grows, our profit grows, then your income grows with it too as well. You're incentivized to hit certain metrics so that you could get different bonuses, so on and so forth. So for example, we had a metric in our company. We were looking to break a record. We broke that record. And the individual that was working with us as the entrepreneur, she got a huge bonus for it, right? We bonused her on top of what she would make for the month with that because she went above and beyond. And so this is not language that average Americans do, go above and beyond. When is the last time you went above and beyond for your job? I didn't go above and beyond when I worked in corporate America. I did just enough so that I would not get fired. I did just enough so I could get my promotions. I did just enough so that they would write me a decent yearly annual review so I can get my little 1.5% raise that I would get every year, right? And it used to infuriate Jasmine because she's like, Ellis, why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? It's like, man, I ain't got to do none of that, right? And also it's so not a biblical principle. It's not a kingdom principle to do just enough because God didn't put us on this earth to do just enough.
I think to that point, what I don't like about people who do just enough is that, and let you take you wherever you go. And so if you do just enough at work, chances are you do just enough at home. And chances are you do just enough in your family and your community. And so you carry you wherever you go.
And I carried me right into entrepreneurship the same way. So in the beginning of entrepreneurship, I carried doing just enough, just to make enough, just to hit a metric. You know, oh, we hit our metric for the month and then stop. It was like, no, why you not keep going? And so I eventually had to change that mindset too as well, because God is not going to bless you more and give you abundance if you carry the same mindset. And so that's the same thing that we teach with the people who come on board to work with us, right? And notice that I keep saying work with us and not work for me. That's a huge difference. People don't work for me. People work with us.
That's it.
Right? And if a person doesn't want to work with us anymore, then they also have to be let go, you know, unfortunately, because we're always looking for people who want to grow. And this concept of going above and beyond doesn't always equate to a lot of income in the beginning.
Yeah. I think, you know, as we all enter into this new year, some of you business owners, it's super important to kind of take a look at the competitive advantage that you have in the marketplace. And one of the largest competitive advantages Ellis and I have found in our company is pay equity. We incentivize. So every single person that works alongside us, they have a base pay, but they're also heavily incentivized every single month to meet certain metrics. And so to me, I love that because it's always challenging them. So I'm gonna pay you at your current work experience level, but I believe that you have more potential. I believe that if I challenge you a little bit more, if I incentivize you, that you're gonna work harder, that you're going to be more innovative, resourceful, that you're going to be a better team player, right? And so what has worked for us when it comes to pay equity is incentivizing our guys significantly on a bonus structure. I think that's a huge problem with a lot of companies today. Even when I look at fast food restaurants, some have horrible customer service, sales associates, some have exceptionally well. For me, I can only speak for me, I've never experienced a rude Starbucks barista. And then you just told me the other day, how much do Starbucks baristas make?
Oh yeah, they make like $20 an hour.
$20 an hour, well above the federal requirement for minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
So why would Starbucks do that? Why would Starbucks actually invest in their people like that? And I think the biggest difference between the Wealth Academy and other companies, and there's a lot of companies who have the same philosophy as our organization, but while other people believe that the product is the product, we believe that people are a product. And if we focus on developing people, focus on investing in people, prioritizing people, we will have a company powered by people that can then go out into the community and make an effective, sustainable impact.